into a brand new wave, drowning out the noise it's tame. Liberty whispers through the brave, breaking free from every chain. Nullify the rules they crave, crypto beats that pave the way. Anarchy with minds that's safe, algorithms new dawn to day. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride. Beyond control we take a stand, casting off the iron brand. Freedom flowing through our hands, revolution's our command. Decentralize the way we plan, all together we expand. Breaking shackles for the clan, in this journey we're unpanned. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride.
Welcome to another edition of Legacy News, Episode 2. I am your host, The Legacy of Jennifer and Kaiser. I am Zachary Kaiser. That is Andrew Joseph. I was actually going to bring him in like we did at Episode 1. I thought that was really cool, but he's a rule
Jump right
breaker.
into the mix.
Yeah, so with that, we have a couple stories, actually. One comes from a tweet from a cool young man, our boy Ezra Wyrick, who has his take on some truth for what could be, at the taxpayer expense, Trump's mass deportation expense. And the other one, obviously, involves the greatest story in the mix as of right now. I know we're all sick of hearing all of it, but it is in the news big time. It involves Israel. So with that, let's jump right in to that mix. And it seems to me this story, this story, I found it actually this morning, just looking at news, getting prepped and ready for the show. It came out about yesterday. It's a USA Today story. Take it what you will, obviously. Any source is a good source, in my opinion. But Israel hits Syria's chemical weapons, sends troops over the border. Even as Israeli jets bombed weapon sites, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu offered a hand of peace to all those beyond our border in Syria. You can scroll, Andrew.
Okay.
That way we kind of see, skim it all. The link will be down below in the description. I will definitely cite my sources. That way you can read it. That way I don't have to read it to you, because I'm not here to read it. I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to get my perspective out and go and dive into a conversation with Andrew about what this all means. And the fact of the matter is, if you scroll down a little bit further, Andrew, the
Keep going.
Iran. Yeah, keep going. I mean, that's a picture. Scroll.
Okay,
Keep scrolling.
just let me know when.
Oh, actually, this is a good one. Actually, stop. Right here, speaking of Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also said he'd order troops from the Golan Heights. That in itself has controversy because internationally, that is presented as Syrian territory under unlawful occupation by the Israelis since 1967. But from the Golan Heights into Syrian territory where they seized positions abandoned by the Syrian military to ensure that no hostile force embeds itself right next to the border of Israel. So, with that being said, it goes into saying that it seems Israel is on a preemptive excursion, their expedition to ensure the safety of Israel, right? As the old government falls and is no more, and the new government, or whatever the hell it's going to be, involving Sunni extremists, most notably Al Qaeda. So even Israel understands this is not a good thing for security and peace on the border between Syria and Israel. That's where I'm gathering from this. So even Netanyahu understands that, yes, Assad is gone, but so is the stability. And even with the 13 or so years of civil war, there was relatively stability because it was contained within the borders of Syria. And now, what do you have? What are you going to see in the near future? That remains to be seen. So Israel is starting to bolster up its defenses preemptively. And so it's not to say that Israel is starting war of expansion. That does not necessarily mean that. I know a lot of people with IDS, Israeli derangement syndrome, Sean, but in reality, you would think that this is them striking Syria for the old conspiracy of let's expand greater Israel, right? That does not necessarily mean that this is what Israel's doing. Israel is containing the security of their own border by infringing upon another country's sovereignty. Not a good scenario, not a good situation to be in. Doesn't look good in my perspective on Israel, considering of what they're into right now with the bombard. I think that there's an armistice of some kind right now with Hezbollah, but regardless, you have Israel's excursions into Lebanon. You obviously have the Gaza mess that's going on, but that's within Israel. Regardless, it doesn't look good with Israel deciding to effectively invade Syria. But at the same time, it also makes a lot of sense within a very destabilizing region after the toppling of a government that effectively held on to the stability of this region so long as it stayed in power. So
that's right.
Scroll down. Oh, U.S. Here's another one. Another one from Netanyahu. Netanyahu called the incursion a temporary defensive position until a suitable arrangement is found. He's not wrong. It is, yeah. I don't know how temporary it is, but at the same time, it is a defensive position in preemptive means. Israel's not going into Syria to take it over. Like I said, I mean, that is they're going in to assert their dominance to ensure that nothing blows back into Israel. Which it's something still going to blow back, obviously, with how the region is.
Minimize the consequences of the situation as much as possible to protect the borders.
Exactly. Military strategy 101 when it comes to preemptive defensive. So U.S. spy agencies are closely monitoring the Syrian storage sites of chemical weapons Now, this one I'm going to go and put my conspiracy hat on. The reason the U.S. spy agencies are closely monitoring Syria's storage sites of chemical weapons to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands is because they're probably going to make sure that they fall into the wrong hands, considering they're probably CIA. Hate to break it to you, but we supplied the chemical weapons that Assad, just like Saddam in the 80s, used to gas his own people. Hate to break it to you. It's history repeating itself. Assad did use chemical weapons on his own people during a war. That is indiscriminately a fact. But
History
where did
rhymes.
he get those? Yeah, but history rhymes. Where did he get those chemical weapons? The United States. Just like Saddam in the 80s with his war with Iran that we funded and backed, and we ensured that Saddam was installed in order to stabilize the region against the Iranian Muslim Islamic Republic of the Ayatollah, right? And then Saddam ended up using that sarin gas to kill millions of Kurds and Shia and even Sunni, because Saddam, he was secular, even though he was a Sunni Muslim. The Ba'ath Party secular, but regardless. Scroll down just a tad bit.
Okay.
This right here is very, very interesting. The sudden fall this weekend of the Assad regime, long backed by Iran and allied with its proxy forces in the region, represented a welcome development for Netanyahu. What that means is obviously Israel wants to contain the situation as best as possible and see what they can do with their relationship in the region geopolitically. Scroll down
again.
Save
face.
Yes, exactly.
Politically speaking.
So, scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
Scroll down a little bit. Now stop. Stop. Go up. Go up. Yeah. All right. Both Israel. No, down. Down.
Okay, my bad.
To where both Israel and Iran are already racing to establish friendly relations with the rebel force suddenly at Syria's helm. Netanyahu again, we send a hand of peace to all those beyond our border in Syria. Meanwhile, while you're bombing while you're bombing it, right, and sending troops. We're going to follow events very carefully so that we can establish neighborly relations and peaceful relations with the new forces emerging in Syria. Iran is also in contact with Syria's new al-Qaeda leaders in hopes of setting the ground for a diplomatic relationship, Iranian officials told Reuters. The main concern for Iran is whether Assad's successor will push Syria away from the Tehran orbit, which is a likely scenario considering you have a Sunni-backed Islamist government now that's going to be taking over. Whereas Iran is highly Shia, and if you don't know Islamic history, the Sunni and the Shia do not get along because of their disagreement and the heir to Muhammad. The Shia believing that it was Muhammad's brother-in-law Ali and his bloodline that effectively takes a hold of the trajectory of Islam, and the Sunni, and Sunni who disagree. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to go full into detail. You can look it up. The main concern for Iran, So the main concern for Iran is whether Assad's successor will push Syria away from Tehran's orbit, or if they can try to bring about certain relationships. That is a scenario Iran wants to avoid for obvious reasons, because that in itself will cause destabilization. And that is the whole point of Syria. It is literally a battleground, and it has been a battleground in the wake of the regional diplomatic, geopolitical, and military influence between Israel, not Saudi Arabia, Israel and Iran. It's always been Israel versus Iran since at least 1980, not Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is just there for fucking oil. So, but anyways, what are your thoughts before we
Opportunities.
move on?
I mean, I can definitely see how this decentralization of governance is going to escalate the situation. And like you say before, Netanyahu, this is going to help him save face in order to maybe maintain his political power, even though he's got this situation in Gaza, because that will be old news, with all that's going on right now. This is a nice distraction for him politically.
Mm-hmm. Basically, moving the Overton window away.
Yep.
Away from the Gaza mess and insert Israel trying to make peace. Look at us. We're trying to do good. We're trying to eradicate what Assad left so that bad people don't get the chemical weapons and do bad things. We're trying to save the Syrian people. And then we're going
Syrian
to try our
democracy.
best. Yeah. So moving that over to man, that's all it is. It's just it's just another domino effect to the chaos of what Middle East politics or geopolitics has become, and it's all conspiracy hat on. It's all been provoked.
That's quite the thick book.
Even though it's about a different scenario, yes, it's a very thick book actually, but it's all been provoked. Even though that's about Ukraine mostly. I have yet to read it. I'm scared to read it, but I'm reading other things right now. So, but anyways, anything more on the Israel and Iran and Syria and Al Qaeda now in control of Syria and the CIA, Andrew?
No, I mean, it's basically we're all up to date. We all know the CIA and the FBI are provoking them, especially with the last president in power. They get all the push that they want because they don't have to worry about any consequences. So we'll see what happens over the next 4 years.
Sad.
This is going to be a bumpy ride.
With that, you got another one.
Yep. Hold on just a second.
And this one goes down to the title of this little segment of ours. Let's get deported. This one comes from Ezra Wyrick. Follow him at Ezra for Liberty if you haven't already. I would assume that you do if you're listening to us. But if you don't, and get out from underneath that rock and follow this guy. This young man is intelligent and very well reversed in the span of politics. So, but go ahead, Andrew.
And economics. It would cost taxpayers. This is what he said. It would cost taxpayers $88 billion to deport 1 million illegals in a single year, and Trump wants to deport 11 million of them in less than 4 years. You do the math. And it goes and has a post here from the Department of Government Efficiency. It's got a bunch of information here. It says in 2023 alone, illegal immigration cost taxpayers $150.7 billion. Put that in context with other costs adjusted for inflation. World War I is $334 billion. Apollo space program is $257 billion. The Manhattan Project was $30 billion. The Panama Canal was $15.2 billion, and the Hoover Dam was $1 billion. It is an expensive thing.
Yeah, I will say we are actually paying for all of those programs except for one thing. Still to this day, we're not paying. We're done paying the Panama Canal. I believe. I think that might actually be paid off.
Go ahead.
Everything else we're still paying for.
Yeah.
So.
No, it is an expensive thing, and it is going to be a lot of logistics involved. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to save some money in one particular perspective, but in the other, you have to think about the other way. There's going to be blowback in marketing and in the media. I mean, they always have blowback from the media when the Republicans in office, but this is, next level stuff, and this is going to escalate the Democrats' push to be more aggressive politically after Donald Trump is out, and that could be a dangerous thing. That could lead to another black swan event like we had with COVID.
It certainly could. It certainly could. But I mean, to jump away and not go too far down the rabbit hole with another black swan, just the audacity that they have with coming up with these ploys that are the mass logistics of it. It's impossible because of how many people exactly are in this country that are illegal, and then how do you go and track down all these individuals and their families that are supposedly
people who've been here since
and
they were
allegedly
3 years old and speak only English, and you're gonna have them deported back to South America or Mexico or wherever they were at before. And
well, it's
say
it's
good
not
luck.
even it's yeah well yeah
It's
good luck,
just-
but it's not even that. It's not even that. It's just
it's
a
not
simple fact
realistic.
that you're going to start coming after legal citizens at this point and violating civil rights of everybody just because you're effectively setting up. I mean, maybe the Democrats are right. Maybe Trump really is a fucking Nazi. Because this is, I mean, it's starting to shape up if this goes down to do exactly what history repeats. History rhymes. Very, very sad. And and I'm not saying Trump is Hitler. I mean, Obama deported. It was under Obama where more illegal immigrants were deported. So, in a massive scale, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can see. I'm not defending it or anything. I'm not defending it. If you escalated it slowly over a set number of years, and it moved in contractions, it got faster and faster. At least it would be realistic and enough people would understand and they would stop coming.
That would be the only option. Is basically the threat of it just eliminates the future immigrants. Did I say that right? Immigrants. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, immigrants like EMI, whatever. But anyways, that are trying to come up here, flooding the border, right? So it may stop them from wanting to see the United States as a targeted facility to enter. But at the same time, you're still going to have to violate rights, individual, whether legal or illegal in this country, because you just cannot do this massively. And then I also think it's funny, 88 billion. That's what we call foreshadowing, everybody.
They're always wrong on the numbers to begin with.
Oh, no, I was just saying 88. Think of 88. What is the eighth letter of the alphabet?
I understand.
Isn't it H? That's the joke. But yeah, no, it's just I don't see it as a possibility. So go ahead, Andrew.
Think about Mises got a quote: "Corruption is a regular effective intervention." Okay, now think about the other quote: "There's no solutions, only trade-offs." It's not from Mises. It's from Walter Williams, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Anyways, if they do this, say they actually do deport these people, there are houses that these people have legal contracts to buy. They have members in their family and stuff like that they all live under the same roof. You're gonna have these houses under foreclosure. You're not gonna be able to just do this without any consequences. There's going to be significant unintended consequences.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really think about the long-term effects of what you're doing before you just pull the trigger because it sounds politically convenient.
I'm going to put my conspiracy hat on and say that this is a conspiracy to deport these people and foreclose on homes so that it makes it easier at a cheap auction for Bill Gates and BlackRock to buy these homes.
I can understand that. Or Chinese. The Chinese
or
like to buy a lot of property too.
It would probably most likely be China because they're embedded in our government and our country economically. It's go to Open Secrets and look it up, man. I mean, China is. You think Israel has a lot of influence with APAC? China has a lot of lobbying power, and there's a lot of Chinese lobbyists that influence Washington. Both sides, both parties.
No, not related to that, but specifically to intergovernment relations. People say that China owes them a vast majority. It's actually Japan that owns the most amount of our debt.
Yes,
And they're playing side
true.
with their bank with under the banking system. They're consolidating, as partners.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in
Japan and
mind.
China. Yeah.
No, United
Yeah.
States and Japan.
Oh, and Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's been going on since World War II, and I mean,
Oh yeah.
since we helped them reorganize their government and effectively Americanized it. So we've been entwined with Japan since 1945, and it hasn't ended.
There's
So
spicy mistress.
so with that, anything else in your corner to discuss there, Andrew?
I know. I really appreciate y'all listening to us, like I always say, and thank you for checking this out.
Check us out, like, subscribe over on YouTube. Check us out on check our main show, The Legacy Right, all over the podcast sphere. Follow us, give us a rating, and subscribe to that as well. That is 9 p.m. Eastern live on YouTube and X every Friday night. This is Monday through Wednesday. We will see you tomorrow for Legacy News. We got a spicy one for you because you know what? Roger Ver is going on Tucker tonight, and I think that's what we're going to be bringing you our insight on tomorrow for our latest short segment in Legacy News, absent of the Legacy media. So
I'm looking
with
forward
that,
to it. See you later.
peace.